talk. So, what is the first song you remember hearing? Period.
This is you trying to take me back into probably when I was like 5, 4, 3. Even when I was probably 1. Because, you know, babies, like I've seen a million videos, I mean, literally, of my songs playing, and infants who are not even a year old singing back to that.
Yeah.
But I bet you they cannot remember that day when you asked them like me.
No, they might, but they remember how they felt.
Yeah, but I can't even remember that memory of the very first.
So I'm going to tell you mine.
First. You know what I mean? I mean first. Is that, if that's what you mean, then I can, you know.
The very first is in the very first you can actually
maybe I'm
recall.
Thinking too deep.
I mean, that's okay. Let's get the first you recall. So for me,
you can actually recall.
I was born in 92. Mm-hmm. I don't know when I Am Mad at You by Tupac came out, but he died in 96.
Yeah.
So between 92 and 96, I was no more but 4. But I remember hearing I Am Mad at You, and like,
exactly.
I'm in the living room. I press open the little glass thing that has the stereos all stacked up. Still don't know what they were all for. So talk to me about your experience.
About that. That would be a lots of Highlife music, you know.
Highlife. Tell us about Highlife.
Highlife music is a beautiful genre. It's the very first cool sounds. I think it's the very first Western. I mean, when I say Western, from West Africa, is one of the very coolest sounds that started the whole campaign towards Afrobeats as we hear it today.
Hold on. Tell me about Highlife. Highlife.
Thank
like
you.
Highlife?
Highlife, literally, yes.
A Highlife.
That is a kind of music, that was a name given to that type of music when the artist, that's a history about it. They say, we're going to play this music for the Highlife people. That's the foreigners who are the seamen, who are the businessmen, the expatriates. So when they came and stayed at different hotels in Ghana, the history we know is that these local artists, in quote, who can play the Yam Ponsa rhythm, is, you know what I mean? Even I can just play it off head. So that's a certain style of rhythm that could do tons and tons of amazing, beautiful music. Then they started adding more instrumentation,
the drums,
more foreign instruments that would definitely replicate some African sounds and different tones. And so that's how they called it Highlife. So Highlife, actually, if I have the moral rights to even try to explain what it is, because I respect it a lot, is that combination of many African traditional Ghanaian local styles of music, which is the palm wine, the kpalogo, even the bobobo, the adowa, etc. That has been mixed up with some jazz, some stuff around there that was created somewhere in the 50s, early. Okay, 50s.
I was getting ready to ask around what time frame was this?
That was the time frame of the history. So that's what is Highlife music is. So Highlife music is actually the pioneer of the Afrobeat of today. Basically, for people to be able to understand what it was or what it is, that was a cool sound at the time. Like the way Afrobeat is cool now, that was a cool sound from the western coast of Africa, especially Ghana.
The people need to know that. I never knew what was before Afrobeat.
So we used to listen to Highlife, a lot of Highlife music, because we have the E.T. Mensah is the father of Highlife music.
Say that again. I'm about to put that in my phone.
E.T. Mensah from Ghana is the father of Highlife music.
E.T. Mensah, M-E-N-S-A?
M-E-N-S-A-E.
I see a lot. There's a lot of Mensahs out there.
Exactly. And that's a legend right there. We have Osibisa, which we have Kiki Jan, and a host of super talented
female Highlife artists.
Yeah, there are tons and tons of them. Like, these are legends that, I mean, I was like a child at the time, so I can't really remember, but I know when you go out there to type Highlife musicians, like legends, we have Pa Bobo, we have, huge legends who, I mean, if I mention a name like Fela Kuti from Nigeria, I know it resonates.
I know who that is.
Those were his mates. Some of who were his very good friends that, they actually related together. And Fela had come to stay in Ghana for as many times as he could or he would. And then there's that type of, development right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really bother with the competitive mindedness when topics like this are coming out, because when, information like this is oozing, you see a lot of controversial responses. I've seen that, but I take that as ignorance. You know what I mean? In the sense that, respectfully, in the sense that when you read about the history of Ghana and the contribution of our music into today's, world, it is replicating in several forms, and it is showing now today as well.
Yeah.
So it's a proof of the yesterday. You know what I mean? In terms of where you see the relationships that we have amongst each other, especially Ghana and Nigeria, and having taken this whole Afrobeat situation to where it is, we are playing our very great individual roles. And even if you asked, you know that Ghana is always like a very fundamental situation to the naming of even Afrobeats. And the origin and some of the original sounds and uprising from the early years. So, cut a long story short, this was the kind of music that I was listening to.
What experiences were you listening to it in?
Yeah, man, with some lots of reggae music, because the same Highlife music actually has a certain type of it that comes with almost reggae sound.
Okay.
It's almost reggae.
Yeah, okay, because that's what I was getting ready to ask, just because I know the history of, or at least what we do know of, the diaspora and a lot of where people were coming from in Ghana going to Jamaica. So there's, the influences there. But I want to know, like, what were you doing when you would be listening or hearing that? Were you playing outside with your boys?
Man. Okay. Absolutely. Like, I'm one of those kids who started off early expressing their talent, to the world. In terms of, kids will naturally be free to dance, to do whatsoever. But I mean, I would sing as well. I'll mimic, I'll learn. So I think at that point, I was actually soaking it in and enjoying it. So, and it cuts across. I wanted to actually continue the vibe of the fact that we used to listen to that Highlife music that almost sounded like reggae, because we could accustom to the reggae sound as well easily. And then the dancehall came along and make it even cool. And then hip hop is running it, because hip hop, I mean, it's 50 years, they say.
Yep, this year.
50. So, it's not that long.
No.
It's not been that long.
My dad's not even 50. Well, no, he's older than 50. But
it's not even that long. So you can understand that it's important for us to acknowledge history, and also know that, people and institutions have played key factors. And big ups to DJ Kool Herc as well, as people big him up for.
DJ who?
Kool Herc.
I'm taking notes. I'm in world music class, y'all.
Yeah, he has Jamaican roots. I mean, it's said to be that he is a pioneer of hip hop. So that tells you that, once upon a time, there was a pioneer of something that became Afrobeat also today.
Who was the pioneer of Afrobeat? If there was one person you could...
Yeah, there's one person I can easily... for me, I'll take it back into... That's why you have names like E.T. Mensah, who's the godfather of Afrobeat. Yeah. So
Copy.
We all keep tapping in from what our forefathers have left us.
Yeah, well, you've had such an array
and making them proud.
You're making them more than proud. How much more can you get than that?